Let's do some general algebra practice. There are 3 different skills you're working on. The first one is evaluating expressions where you're substituting values for the variables. The second one is solving equations. And the third one is replacing expressions with only numbers with a variable expression. So let's start with number 5. P plus 4Q in parentheses divided by 8. So P is 16, so I'm going to rewrite it. 16 plus 4Q is 6. That's times, so I'll put my little dot. Since it's a positive number, I don't have to worry about putting it in parentheses, which is nice because I already have parentheses. Then I will divide that all by 8. So I need to solve everything inside the parentheses first. I've got 2 different operations, addition and multiplication. Multiplication comes before addition. So 4 times 6 is 24. So I will rewrite it. 16 plus 24 divided by 8. So now I still have one operation inside the parentheses. 16 plus 24 would be 40. So I have 40 divided by 8, and that's 5. So the value of 5 is 5. There we go. Let's come down to number 1 down here with the equations. I have negative 3x equals 9. Remember, the goal of algebra is to get that x all by itself. Right now, I am multiplying x times negative 3. The inverse of multiplication is division. So to get rid of the negative 3 and get the x by itself, I will then divide it by negative 3. And since this is algebra, you have to balance it. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So I will divide both sides by negative 3. That cancels out. I'm left with x equals 9 divided by negative 3 is negative 3. There. Let's come over here and look at number 3. Before I can get the n all by itself, I see that I've got it on both sides. So I need to get that n from here over onto this side. In order to do that, I have a negative 7n. So I'm going to add 7n to both sides. It's the inverse. Negative 6n plus 7n gives me n equals, now I got rid of that, 10. Oh, well, that was easy. Now to number 4. X divided by negative 7 equals negative 8. Again, I need to get the x all by itself. The opposite of divide by negative 7 is multiply negative 7. And when I multiply that by negative 7, it cancels out. So I'm going to do negative 7 multiplied on that side and negative 7 multiplied on that side. That cancels out. I'm left with x equals negative 8 times negative 7 is 56. Done. Now come down here. Look at the bottom. Write in an expression for each group of problems. We're going to write a variable expression. So you have 2 types of numbers. You have constants and variables. Variables change. Constants stay the same. So let's see what stays the same and what changes. So in every one of these expressions, there's always a 4. So in my variable expression, I'm going to keep the 4 because the 4 is always there. And then I have a 6, 7, an 8, and a 9. So that changes. Since that changes, variable means change. Vary means change. So if that changes, I'm going to put a variable there. Since my name is Tara, I'm going to use a capital T because that one changes. And then I've got minus, and then every other one is 3. There we go. So this is the variable expression that goes with all of these. This rule applies to every single one of them. They all are 4 times some number minus 3. Let's do this one. They all start with 9. So I'll keep my 9. 9 times, well, this is interesting. They all have, this has the same first. Then times, here's where your change is. Here's the number that varies. So we'll put a variable there. I'm going to put a J for Jack for my variable. And I don't need to put a multiplication dot because we don't have to show that when you've got a number and a variable together because it's understood that that's multiplication. Plus, then we have all 7s. There you go. And I saved the easiest one for you all. So now that we've done these together, I'd like for you to go back and finish 1 through 4 up here, finish the ones left over here, and then do number 1 down here.